Hey, where'd my motivation go? Oh, it's a question I get asked a lot. And in this video, we're going to solve that for you. So what you're going to learn in this video is what exactly motivation is, the one thing that you must do to supercharge your own motivation, and how I got motivated and how you can too. Hey, but before we go any further, let me introduce myself. My name is Fiona Christie. I'm the founder of The Internalists, where we help women go beyond or step beyond their limitations by building courage and confidence so they can fit the shoes of the woman that they long to become. So let's dive into today's video. So what is motivation? Well, motivation is derived from the word motive. So it's having a drive to do something. You know, in the, what do you call them? The crime buster movies, they always say, what's their motive? So what's your why? Your why is your motivation, okay? So the one thing that you've got to do above all else if you're lacking in motivation is to figure out what your why is. And your why has to be bigger than your why not. If your why is not bigger than your why not, then you won't be motivated. So before I jump into how to do motivation, I just want to tell you about something that I learned years ago. And it is that, particularly if you are procrastinating about something and you're avoiding something, you're lacking motivation, then you need to know that human beings are far more... So we're far more motivated by avoiding pain than we are by gaining pleasure, particularly if it's something that we're avoiding. So I think the stats are 90%. We're 90% more motivated by avoiding pain than we are by gaining pleasure. And I use my own example for this in a moment. So consequences versus rewards. Let's look at that. So if you use a rewards-based accountability system to help you be motivated, then I'm sorry to say, but it's probably not going to work. But if you use, so that's a reward system. So in other words, so if you use a reward system, the why not, the why you can't do something will always win. But if you use a consequence-based accountability system, the why will always win. So let's have a look at the why nots. Well, I can't do it because I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. They're better than me. I'm too busy. I'm too tired. I'll do it next week. So if those are bigger than the why, then you won't act. But to make the why bigger, you need a consequence-based accountability system. Let's have a look at that then. So, but you've got to, okay, so you've got to have a robust roadmap. And that roadmap needs to include, a consequence for non-achievement. So, I can clearly remember one day I had an accountability buddy and I was testing this system out. This was quite a few years ago now. And so I developed it and I was testing it out with a guy called Ryan. And we had set ourselves 3 goals each for that week. And for each goal that we weren't going to achieve, we had to do something as a consequence. And I can clearly remember it was Sunday night and I was meeting Ryan on Monday morning. And I suddenly remembered it was about 10 to 10 at night. And I remembered, oh my goodness, I said I'd do 3 walks this week and I've only done 2 and I'm meeting Ryan tomorrow. Oh no, then I'm going to have to do my consequence. There's no way that's happening. So I get on the phone to my friend Joe, who I know is a night owl and who happened to live just around the corner, and said, Joe, get your running shoes on. We're going for a run now. Or a walk now. Anyway, so we did. And I didn't have to do my consequence. But had I not had that written down, had I not had that consequence attached, had I not had that goal buddy, I wouldn't have done it. I know I wouldn't have. So when I created my system, so that's the thing, you need a whole system because you actually need to look at your vibrational energy. Where are you vibrating? So very quickly, vibrational energy, human beings all vibrate at a certain frequency as everything else in the universe does. And it's a bit like radio waves, right? So when you tune into a radio station and you get static, it's because you haven't tuned in exactly. So that's a little bit like our vibrational energy. So if I want to attract something that's here, but I'm down here, I'm not on the same frequency. I need to shift my vibration so that I'm in alignment, and so then we can come together. So I knew that this system had to include everything that I needed if I was going to create a robust roadmap for myself. And that's another story, but the roadmap came as off the back of me like having a consequence to not doing it, right? So anyway, you'll notice that module number 7 is accountability, and that is the consequence-based accountability system. So it is a program in its own right, but I knew that I needed to include a component of it here because it's so important to get us moving forward with our lives. So another tiny weeny story is a story of my own lack of motivation. So I was separating from marriage number 1. Yes, I have been married twice, and I fell to pieces really. And I remember lying there on the bed. My parents had come to help me kind of shift and move forward. I had to pack all the house up and everything. And I was just lying there on the bed, and thankfully my father isn't a person to lie around and sit around. And so he said, come on, we're going to look at flats because you've got to find somewhere to live. So I'm like, oh yeah, so I come. But of course, my mindset was in the gutter really. It was not good. I was, depressed, down, whatever. Anyway, we started looking at flats, and oh my goodness, they were hideous. And he just walked out of one. I remember him saying, well, I wouldn't even have my cat living in there. And so anyway, what I realized was, well, okay, I'm doing this no matter what, because I got to move. So I might as well move to somewhere I love as opposed to somewhere I don't. Right, okay, I've got to do my shopping list. I've got to get an accountability system going here, and I've got to get really clear in micro steps exactly what it is I wanted. Long story short, I found the most amazing place to live, this old historic home. It was incredible, just an amazing 6 months until I bought my own place again. But another story for another day. So you have learned in this video what motivation is, the one big thing that you must have, and then how I got motivated and how you can too. You're going to use a consequence-based accountability system, and they are amazing, and believe me, they work. So one last thing to cover. Where do motivated people hang out? Obviously over at my website. So the best free strategies around you'll find at www.theinternalist.com/best-strategies. That's hard to say real quick. You're going to join the coolest group in town, theinternalist.com/Facebook, and you're going to listen to the conversation over in my podcast. And there's much more to look at on theinternalist.com. So I look forward to seeing you over there, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now, folks. Happy motivating.